Welcome to everyone online. Welcome to those joining us. Wonderful to have you. It looks like we are represented right from the West Coast all the way over to the East Coast and everything in between. We've got a full cast here and really, really exemplary speakers. So we're going to have a great night. So grab a drink, be that alcoholic or not. Go ahead, Chris. Give us what you've been dealing with or what you're feeling about tonight's session. Are you excited?
I'm excited. So here's what I think is going to happen. Well, I guess first we got to lay out the rules. Like the rules of this are the drinking game rules that we talked about yesterday. Since two things that are really good about this virtual summit aspect. One, there will be no Chris Rock, Will Smith scenario that pops off. No one can come up and slap me. So I'm very, very happy about that. That's clutch. Now, we will talk over each other because here's the thing. We like to talk. We're all talkers. So when that happens, we play the drinking game. When that, Christopher Lewis will talk over me because he's going to say, I'm not a Dodger fan. Quit saying I'm a Dodger fan. And I'll be like, I'm sorry. It slipped. You've been to 2 games since we met. I don't know the rules.
I had a good time, though. So I'm okay. I'm a believer now. I'm a believer of the Dodgers.
Cheering for the away team until the Dodgers, are 14-1 this month. So I got you. But when we do talk over each other, whether it's wine, whiskey, water, whatever you're drinking, you got to take a drink. You have to take a drink. That's rule number 1. And then other than that, I mean, I don't know of any other places where you could sit back in your favorite chair or in your favorite person, whatever that you're sitting back in, and get some of the best insights that we have coming on over the next couple hours. We could spend 2 nights together. I mean, nobody has to worry about picking up the check. Nobody has to worry about an awkward first kiss or anything like that. It's all just going to go smooth. So, great and powerful Oz, Gary. That's how I feel so far about this.
Beautiful. So we have about another minute and a half before we kick off. Anybody else want to share what you're excited about for tonight?
Well, I'm pretty excited because the men's group that I am a part of, a lot of the URL went out to all of them, and they were all very excited to be a part of this and hear about relationships and sex and dating, and so they were all pretty stoked about coming to the event tonight.
And most of them are all over 50, and that seems to be a big age group that's in attendance this evening. So there are lots of choices and options out there, ladies.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got now about 30 seconds. I'm going to roll the intro. We're going to get started in 30 seconds. We'll see you on the other side. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the 6th Dating Relationship Live Summit. I'm going to hand over immediately to your MC, Chris Chaos Koss. Go ahead and take it away, Chris.
This is cool. This other side thing that we're talking about. I'm enjoying the other side. So I guess first, let me say my name is Chris Chaos from the Swipe Wrong podcast. I am kind of the guy that's going to, we call this the educators and the agitator. I am the agitator who gets to ask all the questions that you guys signed up with and asked and threw in. And they are the educators who are going to say, this is how it goes. And I'm just be like, yes, you're right, 100%. But I do got to say, as we're putting this together, there was a brains of the operation, the girl that kind of got us all together to figure all this out. And I think she should come up and tell me to be quiet and speak for a moment. That's Tamara.
Thanks, Chris. And hi, everyone. Yep, I'm Tamara Schoon. I'm the host of the Straight from the Source's Mouth podcast. And all of these people you see in front of you were on my podcast at one time, and they have wonderful information to share. So I thought, what better way to do that than have a summit where everyone can hear from all of them all at once. So that's why we are here tonight, and everyone became best friends. So bonus for us. Thanks, Chris.
You got it. We're all a bunch of Thunder Buddies. And before I get into everybody, the face that you saw in the beginning, if Tamara is the brains of the operation of getting us all together, Gary would be the heartbeat of the operation of keeping us all together. So he is definitely the Wizard of Oz of all this. So he's going to at some point put me on mute, play music, and probably if there could be a hook to pull me off, he would do it. So I'm going to introduce Gary Kimmel real quick because he's got to tell us stuff, I think.
Hey everybody, good to see you all. I'm the behind the scenes guy in this case. I'm just making sure everything works technically, and I'm thrilled to see everyone online. Hey to all the Facebookers, and we'll see you soon. as soon as we get into the rest of the content.
Yeah, he's taking me off the Christmas list for that one, I think. So now we'll go around the panel because I think the person who's probably got the most and my favorite AF person around, Shell Cunningham, is going to say her piece.
Hey, everyone. Huge shout out to my ageless women, my 50 AFs, the classy AFs, all of our really, really fabulous women who are in here supporting women, learning women, doing our best to just get by day to day. So just a little bit about what I'm doing here. Tamara is in our ageless group, and she asked me if I wanted to be a panelist. In my history, I've said many times that I wanted to be the next Dr. Ruth. I was actually super sheltered as a child, so I didn't actually know who Dr. Ruth was growing up. Probably what instigated, if we really want to get into Psych 101, as to why I started a sex toy company called Milk and Honey through my 20s and 30s. Because I had all these amazing women bringing me a myriad of their personal issues, wanting to know whys and hows and the way things work, etc. I decided that I wanted to go back to school to be the next Dr. Ruth. But once I was on that path, the research behind child sexual abuse and pedophilia made me really want to hammer some brains apart. So I went hardcore at the research side of things and started dissecting neurotransmitters. I got really, really involved with the studying of the brain for correlational and causational, and figured out hyper and hyposexuality. Of course, not completely, but it started some groundwork there, and made sure that it wasn't just how we feel, but it's also educating ourselves. So getting into all of the crazy chaos and the criminology side of things didn't mean that I lost my love for the sensual, the sexual being, and all of the hidden gems that are inside each one of us. In fact, it made me become even more aware of how powerful we can each be when we are fully in tune with our sexuality and when we are learning, loving, and treating ourselves the best. So that's why I'm doing the summit. I'm here to help. I'm here to teach. I'm here to encourage. I'm here to listen. And I'm here to empower our healthy sexual desires. But above all, I want to bring a little laughter the way ageless women can, and a little bit of naughty to this highly esteemed panel of phenomenal people that are here to do the summit with all of us. So I am very honored to be here.
That was awesome, AF, no doubt. That was awesome, man. So moving on to the next couple, we'll go with Doc Harmony and Kevin Bolton. They are from My Health Shop. Insta is My Health Shop, I think, and also Warriors Mindset, warriorsmindset.net, correct?
Yes.
Nice.
So we're here tonight to talk and share about our relationship. And we've been married 22 years, and obviously I'm Harmony. And my little background story is that when we first got together 22 years ago, I really didn't need a man. I just was very independent. I didn't trust him. I don't even think that I really liked men by this point.
They were tools.
They were tools. Yes, they were. They were tools. They were just a means to an end. I was attracted to them, but really just thought I knew best and how to control them. And that didn't work. And Kevin came in.
Now, I was a born again, never get married again kind of guy. After 2 marriages and giving all my shit away, I was like, why buy a cow when the milk is free? So we're raised on a farm. I'm like, this old farm boy didn't take him long to figure that shit out. So, but then I met this thing. And I told my buddies, don't ever get married. My advice was, don't get married. And take them for an extended test drive. And then when I told everybody I worked with I was quitting the company and moving to Georgia and getting married, they all just about couldn't believe it. But if you find the right person and you're compatible, even if they do just want to use you as a tool, you figured out how to make that work. So this is about our journey.
And thank God we were highly compatible, and we still are. You know, all the major checks, and I know Christopher is going to talk about compatibility at length, you know, politically, religiously, sexually, education. I mean, just all the check marks were there for compatibility, and that still wasn't enough.
Barely.
So we are here, and we're going to share about our experiences with Queen's Code, sterling men and women. In particular, I'm going to share how I don't turn my husband into a frog anymore. And not only did I turn my Prince Charming into a king and a warrior, and just became the wind beneath his wings through learning different ways of being, letting go of control, letting go of my anger. I liked how Shell was just sharing, you know, we do overcome our past in these wonderful, intimate relationships if we have authenticity, transparency,
communication,
listening. So we're going to really talk a lot about some of these skill sets and mostly Kevin's experience of that. Anything?
Yeah, I don't have too many scars from all that.
And, you know, really the bottom line is, like I say, 22 years later, when we first got married, I was not happy. And now I'm happy. And I'm happy. I'm in love. We've created a vision of a relationship that works, not a compromise, the art of negotiation. And so those are just some of the things that we're going to share and talk about, and hopefully make you laugh and make you understand or see things from a different perspective so that you too can have the relationship that you want.
And you'll learn how to be a really good listener like me.
So that's pretty much it. We're going to talk about also the importance of our men's groups and our women's groups, and how important it is to have our red tent and your group of warriors, and how we honor each other really as man and woman.
What I will say is, like, until like going into the show, you know, I got to learn a lot about each one of you guys. I knew about Netflix series Queen's Gambit, which has nothing to do with Queen's Code. Nothing, just so we're all clear. And I'm definitely all caught up on that by now. So now I would say Gary's better half. I'm not certain. Love Train Company, and she has a master class coming up on the truth about rejection, August 19th through 23rd. Sabrina La Vista. Got a drink. I said the name wrong.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sabrina La Vista, and I'm the head coach of the Love Train Company. And we are a group of committed coaches that are all about people finding fulfilling romantic love that lights up their life. So a little bit about me and my story is about 10 years ago, I ended a relationship and got into a pretty nasty divorce. And it was so unpleasant at the time, as divorces and breakups can be. But as I was going through this divorce, an amazing transformation was happening to me, because I was actually learning through that breakup, like what all the things that I was avoiding in myself, in partners, all the things that I didn't know that I needed or wanted from another partner, from my partner rather. So it was through that breakup that my biggest transformation happened. And I got very, very clear for myself what I was actually looking for in a partner. And it was through that process that I attracted my husband, Gary Kimmel. We don't share the same last name, but we share the same heart, right? So it was through that experience and actually attracting fulfilling romantic love in my life that I wanted to share all my knowledge and with women and with men. I coach primarily women and a few good men. And so our business is all about people being open to the possibility of fulfilling romantic love, that it is possible for you no matter what the circumstances are or whatever age you are. And so what I'm going to be focusing on is the things you need to know before you commit to someone, before you actually give your heart to someone, because I think sometimes we rush very quickly into getting into relationships without actually knowing that person. before we say yes. So that is what I'm going to be focusing on. And yes, as Chris said earlier, I lead monthly master classes on different topics to do with dating and relationships. And my next one is about the truth about rejection. And that's coming up actually this weekend. So I'll be sharing information about that. And you are all very welcome to join in live. And that's it for me, Chris. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. That was awesome. So I think next we have our resident RN, head of hotel hospital security. I'm not even sure what she ended up being, but Treva Brandon, author of Done Being Single at a Late Bloomer's Guide to Love. How's the hospital life going?
Yeah, so my husband was in the hospital the last few days, and so I've been doing kind of double duty, preparing for this summit and being Nurse Cratchit to him. And so here I am. I wear a couple different hats, I guess. Now I'm really a nurse. I'm professional, not sexy. I Nurse Cratchit. Okay. So yes, so I am Treva Brandon Scharf. I'm an International Coaching Federation certified life, dating, and relationship coach, former fitness professional, midlife, marriage first-timer, and author of the new book, Done Being Single, A Late Bloomer's Guide to Love. I got married for the first time at 51, and I use my years as a longtime single person and an athlete to teach people timeless truths about dating and being empowered. I like to think I cracked the code, not just to finding love, but to finding myself too, which is what happens when you're single for 50 years. You have time to think, you reflect, you take action, and you find acceptance. Author Malcolm Gladwell, if you've ever heard of him, once said that if you do something for 10,000 hours, you're an expert. And I probably spent 10,000 hours dating. So if I'm not technically an expert, then I'm definitely an authority. I've been there, I've done that, I've dated that, and I can guarantee you in one way or another, I've walked in all of your shoes. I've lost, I've loved, I've lost, I've struggled, I've triumphed, and here's what I can tell you for sure, that the better you become as a person, the better you will attract. And I'm going to repeat that again. The better you become as a person, the better you will attract. Finding the right person starts with you. And that's where I come in. I help you crack the code, which, by the way, isn't as top secret as you think. Tomorrow night, I'm going to give you the combo and the keys to cracking the code. They are all hand-picked. They are all test-driven. They are all personally curated. And I hope you all join me. It should be a fun, interesting, provocative chat about all things dating, finding love, and yourself. Thanks. Take it away, Chris.
Well done. Well done. Walking in all of our shoes. There was this glass flipper that Allison doesn't want any part of, I don't think, this Cinderella thing. So Allison Jayne, she is from Inspired Life Tapping and the author of Finding Love Again. I believe it's a good time for her to come over and say, Chris, shut up and let me talk.
Chris, shut up and let me talk.
Done.
Hi, everyone. I'm Allison Jayne. I am a psychotherapist and an EFT tapping practitioner and a midlife dating mentor. I specialize in working with women post-divorce to help them learn to date better and find love again. And I do it in a very specific way, similar to the philosophy of some of my panelists here that we all have gotten along so swimmingly because of this. I focus on changing women from the inside out to magnetize and draw in their ideal partner. The way I do this is I help women to identify and dissolve their blocks, their fears, their limited belief and thinking that is unbeknownst to them, causing them all sorts of problems at a subconscious level in terms of seeing, identifying, and finding good, healthy partners. I use this very specific tool known as EFT tapping that is bar none the best thing I have ever found in my 20 years as a psychotherapist for clearing away emotional baggage and fears. EFT tapping is when you combine tapping on your own acupressure points, so stimulating very specific acupressure points, with processing emotionally laden material. I say it's like pouring water onto the fire of emotions. You know how sometimes you can get some really great insight, maybe from therapy or from a friend, and you can realize exactly why you're self-sabotaging or exactly why you're picking the wrong guy over and over, but you just can't seem to change? That's where EFT tapping comes in. EFT tapping is the game-changing tool that actually helps you release those patterns once and for all. It goes beyond just identifying, it helps you dissolve them. You start to feel better, you start to think more positive, and believe it or not, you actually start to see the world differently thanks to a little part of our brain known as the reticular activating system. It's the part of your brain that when you decide you want to buy a Jeep, suddenly you see Jeeps everywhere and you think, were they always here or what? No, they were always there. Your brain just didn't see them. When you dissolve the old unhealthy patterns, the fears that there are no good men out there, things like that, you start to see different men who literally might have been right in your world all that time, but you didn't see them because you needed to do this shift in your brain. Last year, I wrote a book all about this called Find Love Again, Learn to Date Like a Goddess. And I have a special invitation for everybody participating in this event. You can go ahead and download a free copy of my book. You will learn a lot of the principles, including how Cinderella fucked me up, which is what Chris was referencing earlier. And you will learn all the principles I teach, and you will learn how to do the EFT tapping to clear them. Just go to my website, learntodatelakeagoddess.com, and you can get that free downloaded book right there. The bottom line, what I want to share with everyone on this summit is you don't have to worry about your dating profile and getting the right pictures and doing all these external things to magnetize in your ideal partner. All you need to do is the internal work, and everything in your outside world shifts. You can become magnetic. And when you are at your highest vibe goddess self, you will draw in the authentic right person for you.
That was awesome. That was awesome. So the reticular activating, it's a real thing. It doesn't work though if you think like, I want to see Margot Robbie all the time. It's not the same thing, just so people know. You can try. I mean, Lord knows I've tried that. It just doesn't seem to work the same way. So now, look, he's trying really hard not to be a Dodger fan, but he keeps going to the games and they keep winning. He's the tennis pro. He is the man from Dating to Intelligence. He's turning into my new best friend. So Christopher Lewis, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Chris? Thank you so much. Hey guys, hi everyone for joining us this evening. My name is Christopher Lewis, as Chris said. I am a dating coach and the creator and host of the highly acclaimed Dating Intelligence podcast. I'm new actually in dating coach scene, but I'm a guy who has a lot of history in dating. So I feel like it's my turn to show people on how to do it the correct way and how to meet people with their true authentic self. So I'm going to lead with, once again. So first of all, I tell people I'm just a guy who knows women really well and who just loves the hell out of them. And so for me, I grew up in a house full of women when my mom and dad got divorced when they were young. And so being in this house with, a mom and two sisters, I've learned how to navigate that whole scene pretty quickly because I felt like I was like studying gorillas in the jungle, like Jane Goodall or something like that. So I always tell people that, just learning how to be around women, learning how to see what they are looking for, how a guy is supposed to be around women, how we are supposed to just lead with authenticity and not with ego. And so some of the things that I say with my philosophy, especially for guys right now, I say, I want to show guys how to be better for women by teaching them how to let go of their ego and leading with their true authentic selves and becoming better communicators and listeners. And one of the biggest things I always say to guys is to lead with confidence, not with arrogance and ego. Your ego should be there to serve your confidence, not to lead your arrogance. And for women, I also do you guys as well, whom I love you guys so much. I tell women that I want to show you how to get your power back in the dating space by helping you understand how important your worth is. Because I feel like a lot of us, when we date so much and we're spinning our wheels, trying to find that right partner, trying to find that match, you know, we lose a little bit of our power, we lose a little bit of ourselves. And I want to be there to help you navigate that space. And also learning how to read the signs of when guys are being idiots, because I always say that all guys are idiots, and that's including me as well. I mean, trust me, we all go through some things like that. But the biggest thing that everyone needs to learn is how to be your true authentic self, look within yourself, and learn how to learn from your mistakes. You know, I think a lot of us here are saying the same thing about communication, listening, and learning how to be your true authentic self. Now, for myself, you know, like what I will be sharing with you guys tomorrow is basically how to stay in your dating lane and compatibility. That's one of the biggest things that I always talk about is teaching and showing you guys how to find your perfect partner or match by learning how to, you know, let go of some of your checklists, like learning how to be open to dating new and different things, always being aware and not just being kind of blindsided and just, you know, tunnel vision on exactly who you think you might want, because sometimes the person that you think you might want isn't exactly the person you should be with. And these are the things that I'll be discussing tomorrow. Like I said, I'm just a guy who just knows women well, who wants to be I'm a huge advocate for women. I also will be doing workshops and masterclasses in the future. I'm getting all that stuff together. So I recently did a stage event that you can actually find on YouTube. It was my very first live show that I did talking about staying in your dating lane. And I'll have some other shows in the future as well on different topics. I also will be, like I said, if you guys need anything, just find me on Dating Intelligence on any social media and on my .com page. And just, you got the Calendly just to consult me and just, find me. So the last thing I want to let everyone know is the fact that, I just want everyone to know that this is a safe space. If you have any questions that you want to ask any of us, we're here to answer those questions and to help you guys out. Like I always tell people, my job is not to answer and give you the answer. My job is to ask you the correct questions, ask questions that are mindful about yourself, that you will discover what you already knew. I mean, because most of us already know the problems in what we do, why we do it. It's just being able to hear and be able to listen to our own inner selves and be able to solve those problems. And so, I mean, I'm working on stuff like that right now as well. So, I mean, we all have stuff going on, and it's always ebbing and flowing, and you should always be growing, always learning. And every time you make a mistake, just sweep it under the rug and keep moving forward and pushing for that next high. So, that's what I do. So thank you.
My guy. Nice job, buddy. Lots there. Like, ask, safe space, all that. Like, if guys can do some of the stuff they do behind keyboard courage, ask all the questions that you want to ask tonight for sure. My other buddy, Andre Paradis, got it right. See, nobody gets to drink on that one. My guy from Project Equinox. What's up, big guy?
How you doing?
All right.
Good to be here. It took me a minute to get here. A little bit of a challenge. So my name is Andre Paradis. I'm based in Los Angeles, and I'm a relationship coach and NLP coach. For those of you who don't know, it's neuro-linguistic programming. That's how I do the emotional release stuff on my clients. I'm an educator of effective communication strategies. Dum, dum, dum. It's a big title, but it's essential communications in all your relationships, love relationships, parental, parent-child, at work, your coworkers, your friends. This is where most of us fall short. And there's a ways to do all this. You can learn everything, obviously. I'm also a public speaker, workshop leader, 2 times Amazon #1 bestseller. And get this is my favorite. I'm also an ordained minister. So for some of my clients, not only do I coach them into healthy, loving, long-term relationships, but for some of them, I actually marry them myself. I just did 2 this summer in Texas and Las Vegas. Clients that I met a year and a half, 2 years ago, didn't know how to, find a relationship, find a man, find a woman, did the program, came out the other side going, that makes so, because nobody teaches really the dynamics, the work, what's in our culture right now. Sounds really good on paper, equality and all that stuff. But most of the stuff out there will teach you what doesn't work. if you apply what is the new normal, it ruins. I call it the kiss of death in the world of relationship. It's interesting. It's counterintuitive. So if you stick around and you'll hear me, I'll describe that. Tomorrow night we're going to talk about all this. But I've studied with 5 masters in the field of relationships, so I could explain the dynamic between men and women, or men, women. By the way, it's exactly the same. Doesn't matter your orientation or what's in between your legs. We actually study and research the people who are sustaining long-term relationships, whether they're straight or gay. The people who have managed to build relationships healthy, loving, long-term, all have one thing in common. And that's the gift, right? So when you understand how that works, and all this stuff is based in nature. So what I teach is nature and science mixed with psychology, with anthropology work, chemistry. The chemistry of our bodies has us behave differently. A boy brain like mine soaked in testosterone, a woman's brain soaked in estrogen, that actually has us behave differently, be motivated by different things, speak and listen differently. Sounds ridiculous, but factual. This is where the miscommunication happened a lot. So the whole dynamic, men and women, who confuses everyone, really, because men are going around going, why is she taking everything personally? That's not what I meant. That's not what I said. That's not what I did. That's where she's going all the way there by herself, right? So what's wrong with her? That's typically what men complain about. And women experience men as shallow, disconnected, selfish, self-centered, not understanding a hunter paradigm. The hunter brain functions in a way completely different than the gatherer's brain. That's the anthropology part. So dissecting this, understanding this, imagine this, ladies, to understand why men do what they do. Actually understanding it, not sort of like, like actually understanding it. Imagine 50% of what you take personally goes out the window. That's liberation. And that gives you the opportunity to be in a dance with men. And it's the same thing with the men on the other side. We understand when women say, I need so very little, why can you give me what I need? What's that look like? What's that mean? To men, that's confusing because men quantify everything. If it's not big, it means nothing. So I come from a world of my background. Look behind me. This is my wife and I ballroom dancing. This is my entire background. I was a professional ballroom dancer into a commercial dancer. So I worked with some masters like Michael Jackson, Prince, Paula Abdul, Julio Iglesias. I spent my life on the road. The metaphors of dancing and the metaphors of relationships are fantastic. So in my workshops, I actually use dancing, putting people in each other's arms to mirror how you show up in relationships. It's fantastically like in your face. It's a mirror. And from there, you get to see where you, as a woman, if you have difficulties being vulnerable, that's going to keep installing you in the relationship. If a man has not a good sense of himself, cannot really lean in and lead, that's going to stress out his partner. So it's all about energy. Everything I teach again is science and nature and energy, the yin yang of our bodies, the yin yang of the magnetism of relationship. A little complicated seemingly, but it's actually very simple. My favorite thing is my clients will come on the other side of the program and go, it's so easy. Oh my God, it's so easy. I get it now, because it's actually not complicated, but it's not taught out there. And really, nobody has kind of seemingly put it together that it's manageable, understandable, practicable. Is that a word? I don't know if that's a word. But anyway, that's what I do. Tomorrow night, we're going to do a breakout room, and I can answer your questions. What I'm going to teach you up front, which is another liberating piece. Ladies, men, we'll talk about men and women, but in my world, there's 3 types of men. They all look the same. They're different beasts. And there's one type you have to avoid at all costs, the ones that you've experienced causing you all the pain. That's not man, that's the one type. Same with the ladies. So there's boys, guys, and men in my world, and there's chicks, girl, and women on the other side. Fascinating. There's a way to decode it. Please, break it apart and see for what it is. And when you understand that, you don't date like this anymore. You don't date with, I hope he's a good guy. I hope, she is committable. I hope they reveal themselves, because you know what to look for and you know who to avoid, and never get taken, never get sucked in, never get heartbroken. Pretty fantastic. And if you're a little bit of luck, if you work with me, I'll be the one officiating a wedding.
Yeah.
That's
all the way
got.
to happily ever after, literally. And maybe do you make the cake too?
Not my department.
Not your department. Okay. All right. We got a guy.
I just work the suit, and they do a very warm and fuzzy ceremony.
All right. I got a guy for the cake. So just so everybody knows who's out there, like that's the panel. That's how you got a little bit of everybody. You have contact information out there. You know how to get a hold of them. You know how to get married by Andre.